Hi, this is Laura Wansick, and I'm here to share a layout that I made that was inspired by the mood board and also inspired by my daughter's shirt in that picture. I often draw inspiration for color schemes from photos that I have. So I started here experimenting with some Gina K masking magic paper. I was curious if it would hold the weight of all of the mixed media that I was going to put on top of it, and it actually did a really good job. So I have these 2-inch circles of text, then I punched 2-inch circles of masking magic paper and put them over it. Then started with gesso, of course, to hold all the weight because this is just some white cardstock that I have. And then using the art crayons to make some playful circles around to color around all of those little spots there. And I was pretty impressed with how they peeled back when I do peel them back to reveal the text underneath. They did hold the weight really nicely. And I put a few different layers. I've got the gesso, then the art crayon watercolor, and then I put iridescent glaze on top of them as well. So I like the idea of being able to have this kind of seamless transition from mixed media to paper without having to place paper on top. But I ended up doing that because I had accidentally doubled the stories. So these are 4 little stories about my daughter right now, which is a common thing that I do. And I had accidentally already used these stories on another layout. So I printed new stories and ended up putting them on top of the current ones. But either way, this was a good experiment to kind of see how it was going to hold all of the mediums, and it did a really good job. So here I'm using the dry stencil brush with the art crayons, and actually I didn't mix them with any water. It's a little bit harder to get it on the brush, but it still goes on pretty nicely, and it's a little bit darker and a kind of a different texture than when you dip it in water. So then I took some of that, I'm not even sure how to describe that color, peach, tan, I don't know, with the iridescent glaze and then put it over that stencil. I just wanted a little bit of pop of glitter and shimmer. And again, I really wasn't sure how those were going to peel up, especially underneath those flakes of glitter, but they peeled up pretty nicely. There are some areas that the paint sort of seeped through, but if anything, I think it looks kind of cool. I used that little tool to kind of scrape some of the paper off because it was pretty wet. So here's my new journaling spots, and I put some pop dots underneath them for some dimension. And my favorite part of the Wildflower and Honey Collection is all of the really fun leaves. So I had leaves kind of coming out of the different journaling spots. And then that circle worked pretty nicely to go over that kind of board, that little frame worked nicely to go over that circle. And then I took some thickers. My daughter is named Ellie, so E for Ellie, and then 4 is how old she is. And I put some of the iridescent glaze on those letters, and then again I added a little bit later just for a little bit more shimmer there. And then the bottom, just use the stamp from the set to put "Enjoy Today." I liked how it shimmered like that when it was wet, but then it ended up drying a little more matte. And I was thinking I could emboss it if I wanted to keep that kind of shimmer going. I really like how this one turned out. It was fun. It was fun to experiment and kind of see how the masking magic paper would work. And as always, I like using the iridescent glaze. And I did stitch around it because I like the texture of it, and I know that it holds the paper a little more securely, especially when the paper buckles a little bit. It holds it down permanently against the background paper. Love all those textures and layers, and I ended up liking the text being popped up. Thought that was kind of a nice addition. So thanks for checking it out.